Hello friends, welcome back to SS Coins History Liberty half-dollar coins from 1971, 1972, 1985, and the Susan B. Anthony dollar from 1980, as of 2025. You can use this as a guide, presentation, or the United States Mint has issued several iconic coins throughout its history, reflecting pivotal figures and values of the nation. Among them are the Kennedy half-dollar, commonly referred to as the Liberty half-dollar due to the prominent Liberty inscription, and the Susan B. Anthony dollar, the first U.S. coin to honor a real woman. In this detailed guide, we explore the Kennedy half-dollars from 1971, 1972, and 1985, and the Susan B. Anthony dollar from 1980, examining their historical background, minting locations, circulation statistics, and values in various conditions. The Kennedy half-dollar was first issued in 1964, just months after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Designed by Gilroy Roberts, obverse, and Frank Gasparo, reverse, the coin was a tribute to the beloved president. Originally struck in 90% silver, it shifted to 40% silver content 1965-1970, and then to a copper-nickel clad composition starting in 1971, which remains the standard, the First Steps 1980 Susan B. Anthony Liberty $1 coin. Hello and welcome to this in-depth exploration of one of America's most distinctive dollar coins, the 1980 Susan B. Anthony Liberty $1 coin. This unique piece of U.S. numismatic history combines the legacy of a trailblazing women's rights activist with a bold but short-lived attempt to reinvent the dollar coin. Let's delve into its origin, production, design, distribution, and the differences between its circulated and uncirculated forms. To understand the 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar, we first have to look back a few years. By the late 1970s, the U.S. government was eager to reduce its reliance on the bulky Eisenhower dollar coin and move toward a more practical, lightweight alternative that would be easier to use in commerce and cheaper to produce. In 1978, President Jimmy Carter signed legislation authorizing a new small-size dollar coin. It would be the first U.S. coin to feature a real, non-mythological woman, Susan B. Anthony, a tireless crusader for women's suffrage and civil rights. The coin was first minted in 1979, making 1980 the second year of production. The Susan B. Anthony dollar was minted for circulation in 3 U.S. mint locations: Philadelphia, No Mint Mark; Denver, D Mint Mark; San Francisco, S Mint Mark, mostly proof coins, but some business strikes exist. Though intended for widespread national circulation, the coin struggled to gain acceptance from the public. Its size and color closely resembled the U.S. quarter, leading to confusion and rejection by both consumers and vending machine operators. Most Susan B. Anthony dollars ended up in storage, banks, or used primarily in public transit systems and vending machines, particularly in the northeastern United States. Features Susan B. Anthony in a right-facing portrait, designed by Frank Gasparo. The word Liberty arches above her head. The date 1980 appears below the neck. 13 stars surround the portrait, symbolizing the original 13 colonies. The phrase, "In God We Trust," appears to the right, displays an eagle landing on the moon, inspired by the Apollo 11 mission insignia, a nod to American technological achievement. The Earth is visible, in the background, reinforcing the global context of the moon landing. The inscription, "United States of America" and $1 circle the edge. This design was a powerful statement, celebrating both gender equality and American innovation. Total coins minted across all types in 1980, over 93 million. Despite these large numbers, the coin's poor public reception meant many went uncirculated. Circulated 1980 SBA dollars are relatively common. Most show signs of wear, such as dull surfaces, flattened edges, and details minor scratches or pocket change. Damage value in this condition typically ranges from $1 to $150, depending on wear and mint mark. These coins were never released into general commerce. Found in original U.S. mint sets, collector rolls, or storage vaults. In grades like MS-63 to MS-65, they feature Bright luster sharp strike, no wear only minor. Handling marks values, MS63 to MS64, 3 to 6 MS65 plus. $10 to 25 rare high-grade examples or certified specimens, e.g., PCGS MS67, 100 plus, especially for pristine coins from San Francisco. Minted in San Francisco with mirror-like fields and frosted designs, intended for collectors. Value, $4 to $10, more if graded PR69 or PR70. Despite noble intentions, the SBA dollar fell short in its mission, too similar in size and appearance to the quarter. Public confusion led to poor acceptance. Treasury halted production after 1981, with a one-time return in 1999, due to depleted dollar coin inventories. It was eventually replaced by the golden-colored Sacagawea dollar in 2000. The 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar coin is a powerful piece of American history. Though it failed in its intended role, it succeeded in marking a significant milestone. First woman on U.S. coinage in circulation. A reflection of America's ongoing dialogue about equality, representation, and progress. Today, these coins are sought by collectors for their historical value, and their affordability makes them an excellent entry point into U.S. coin collecting. The SBA dollar is still legal tender. It occasionally pops up in circulation even today, much to the surprise of younger generations. Its legacy helped pave the way for other circulating coins honoring women, like the 2022 American Women Quarters series. Would you like a printable version or infographic summary of this content? The second step is 1985 ith in the Kennedy half-dollar period, and it's the only half-dollar minted that year. I'll provide a numismatic overview of the 1985 Kennedy half-dollar. The Kennedy half-dollar was introduced in 1964, just a few months after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy on November 22, 1963. The coin was created as a tribute to the fallen president, replacing the Franklin half-dollar, which had been in use since 1948. The design was fast-tracked through Congress and the U.S. Mint, with input from both Jacqueline Kennedy and Robert F. Kennedy. The obverse, front of the coin features a left-facing bust of President Kennedy, designed by Chief Engraver Gilroy Roberts, while the reverse features the presidential seal designed by Frank Gasparo. In 1985, the Kennedy half-dollar was struck at the following U.S. Mint facilities. Notably, no proof coins were struck at the San Francisco Mint in 1985. The U.S. Mint did not produce proof sets that year due to a temporary suspension of production. Proof coins returned in 1986. Mint mintage quantity Philadelphia, no mint mark, 18,837,507 Denver, D32 472 244. No S-mint. Proof. Kennedy half-dollars were made in 1985. By the 1980s, the half-dollar had fallen largely out of daily use in commerce. Most Americans found the 50-cent coin bulky and unnecessary compared to smaller coins and paper currency. As a result, Kennedy half-dollars were minted mostly for collectors, not for widespread circulation. Many 1985 half-dollars went directly into bank storage or were sold in mint rolls and bags. Diameter, 30.6 mm. Weight, 11.34 grams. Composition, 91.67% copper, 8.33% nickel, clad edge. Reeded designer, Gilroy Roberts, obverse, Frank Gasparo, reverse, metal value, as of 2025, less than 0.10 circulated 1985. Kennedy half-dollars are common and generally hold minimal numismatic value beyond face value. Key characteristics. Grade. Usually grades from VG to EF typical market value. 0.50 to 0.75 used for filling date sets, basic collections, in mint state, MS60, MS67. The coin can carry a premium. Factors affecting value include luster, strike, quality, and contact marks. Grade description approx. Value, 2025. MS60 entry-level uncirculated 1.50. 2 Badu 0 MS63 better quality. Moderate luster 2.0. 3 bars MS65 gem quality. Clean surfaces 5 zeros. €10 blouse scarce. Investment grade 20 plus, less common. There were no proof coins or sets issued in 1985. This makes the year slightly unusual for collectors who assemble year sets. The next proof half dollars resumed in 1986. Collectors seeking higher value from their 1985 half dollars often pursue certified examples graded by PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, slabbed MS66 or MS67. Coins can carry premiums if they have clean fields, full bell lines for older halves, or strong luster. Kennedy's popularity. The coin remains in production partly because of Kennedy's enduring legacy and its status as a tribute. Dollar coin competition. The Kennedy half dollar shares collector interest with the Eisenhower dollar, Susan B. Anthony dollar, and more recently the presidential dollar series casino use. Half dollars were popular in casinos and vending machines well into the 1980s. To maintain uncirculated quality, store in acid-free coin flips or capsules. Avoid handling with bare hands. Use cotton gloves. Keep in a dry, temperature-stable environment. Attribute details coin. Name 1985. Kennedy half dollar mints Philadelphia. No mark. Denver. D composition copper nickel. Clad proof version. Not issued in 1985 circulated value. Airpoint 50 down 75 uncirculated value. $2.10 plus historical significance tribute to JFK. If you're holding on to a 1985 Kennedy half dollar, it's not especially rare, but it's a solid piece of American numismatic history, particularly notable for its year without a proof version. A well-preserved uncirculated coin may hold interest to collectors building complete Kennedy series collections. Would you like a table comparing values for every Kennedy half dollar from 1964 to present? The second last step, Liberty half dollar. The United States did not issue a Liberty half dollar in 1972. The term Liberty half dollar commonly refers to earlier half dollar coins. Walking Liberty half dollar, 1916-1947, Liberty seated half dollar, 1839-1891, capped bust half dollar, 1807-1839. However, in 1972, the official U.S. half dollar in circulation was the Kennedy half dollar, which features the portrait of President John F. Kennedy. This coin was first issued in 1964, shortly after his assassination, and is the correct coin for 1972. If you're still thinking of a coin labeled Liberty, it's likely due to the Liberty inscription that appears on almost all U.S. coinage, including the Kennedy half dollar. After the assassination of President John F. Kennedy on November 22, 1963, the U.S. Congress moved quickly to memorialize the late president. Just over a month later, legislation passed to redesign the half dollar to feature his likeness. The idoid Kennedy half dollar debuted in 1964, replacing the Franklin half dollar. The 1972 issue is part of the non-silver clad era for general circulation. Unlike the first year, 1964, which was 90% silver, and the 1965-1970 issues, which were 40% silver, the 1971 and later Kennedy half dollars were struck in a copper-nickel clad composition, just like dimes and quarters. In 1972, Kennedy half dollars were struck at the following U.S. mint locations. S. Only for proof coins, the mint mark is located on the obverse, front of the coin, just below Kennedy's neck and above the date. Feature detail composition copper-nickel. Clad, 75% copper, 25% nickel over pure copper core. Diameter 30.6 mm. Weight, Levant 34. Gedge reeded obverse portrait of JFK by Gilroy Roberts. Reverse presidential seal by Frank Gasparo. Mint mintage mint mark Philadelphia 153,180,000. No mint mark Denver 141,890,000. Dia San Francisco proof 3,260,996 S. Proof only. These coins were largely minted for general circulation, but by the early 1970s, half dollars were already becoming less common in daily transactions due to hoarding and declining use. In circulated condition, these coins are generally only worth face value $0.50. They are extremely common and were made in massive quantities. In uncirculated or mint state condition, MS60 to MS65 plus, values can range from $1 to $10 depending on grade, luster, and strike. High-grade specimens, MS66 or higher, especially with full luster and clean surfaces, may fetch $20 to $100 plus, particularly if certified by PCGS or NGC, minted only at San Francisco. Mirror-like finish, sharp details. Value: typically $4 to $8, depending on condition. Deep Cameo, DCAM versions are worth more. There are no major errors or varieties known for the 1972 Kennedy $half that significantly impact its value, but collectors sometimes search for minor varieties or die clashes. The year 1972, the Kennedy $half continued its journey as a symbol of national memory and numismatic artistry. Nearly a decade after President John F. Kennedy's untimely death, the coin bearing his likeness remained in production, not as a commemorative, but as an everyday piece of American currency. Though by now it was no longer struck in silver, its place in American pockets and collections was still secured. That year, over 295 million $half were minted across the Philadelphia and Denver facilities, with a smaller batch of mirror-like proof coins created in San Francisco for collectors. The 1972 $half was struck in a copper-nickel clad composition, signaling the nation's broader move away from precious metals in coinage. On the obverse, Kennedy's serene profile still commanded respect, his legacy etched not just in history books but in coin rolls and bank vaults. On the reverse, the presidential seal served as both tribute and tradition, tying together the executive branch's dignity with the minting craft's precision. Though today the 1972 Kennedy $half circulates primarily in coin collections and not in cash registers, its story is one of enduring legacy. A piece struck in the millions, yet cherished for what it represents. A leader lost too soon. AIOE, nation's reverence and the timeless allure of numismatic art. Would you like a detailed table of prices by condition, grade, or photos for identification? I can also generate coin display sheets or help determine the value of your specific coin if you upload an image. The last step. The Liberty $half coin from 1971 is a popular collectible coin among American numismatists, though the name often causes confusion. Technically, the 1971 $half features the profile of President John F. Kennedy, not the classical Liberty depiction seen on earlier U.S. coinage. Here's a comprehensive deep dive into the 1971 Kennedy $half. The Kennedy $half was first minted in 1964, shortly after President John F. Kennedy's assassination on November 22, 1963. The coin was introduced rapidly, with legislation passing in 1963 to replace the Benjamin Franklin design used from 1948-1963 on the $half. The Kennedy design was intended to honor the fallen president and became an instant symbol of national mourning and pride. By 1971, the coin had been in circulation for 7 years. That year marked a major turning point. The U.S. Mint completely removed silver from the $half composition. From 1965-1970, Kennedy halves had a 40% silver-clad composition. Beginning in 1971, the coin was made entirely from copper-nickel clad, similar to other circulating U.S. coinage of the era. In 1971, Kennedy $half were minted at Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, Denver Mint marked with a D, San Francisco Mint, only for proof coins marked with an S, portrait, John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. Inscriptions, Liberty, In God We Trust, and the year 1971. Reverse, back design, the presidential seal, a heraldic eagle clutching arrows and an olive branch. Designer, Frank Gasparo. Inscriptions, United States of America and $half. Millions of coins were produced for circulation in 1971, making the Kennedy $half a common coin. Many were hoarded by collectors and the general public due to the coin's novelty and the association with President Kennedy. However, by the 1970s, half dollars were rarely used in daily commerce. As a result, most 1971 coins saw little wear despite being intended for circulation. Mintage numbers Philadelphia, no mint mark. 155 million coins Denver, D mint mark. 302 million coins San Francisco, S mint mark, proof only. Or 3 million. Proof coins in circulated grades, good to extremely fine. The 1971 Kennedy half dollar typically has noticeable wear on high points. Hair, cheek, eagle feathers. Dull luster or surface marks. Generally low market value, around 50 cents to $1, depending on condition. Uncirculated examples, MS60, MS70 are more desirable. Brilliant surfaces with no signs of wear. Mint state. 63 and 65 coins may show bag marks but are bright and sharp. S66 or better are scarcer and can fetch higher prices. Made at San Francisco with a mirror-like finish, intended for collectors, not circulation. Deep cameo, DCAM proofs are the most valued. Prices for 1971 S proofs range from 3 to 15, depending on quality and cameo contrast. Type grade estimated value, USD, circulated, P or D VF, F050, 1 Bozur uncirculated, P or D MS60, MS65.2. 10 uncirculated, P or D MS66, 20, 100 plus proof, S, PR60, PR65.3, 8 proof, S, DCAM, PR66, PR69 10, 30 plus. Note: values fluctuate based on demand, coin shows, grading service, and market interest. While not rare, the 1971 Kennedy half dollar is notable as the first completely copper nickel